After raining almost all day, the skies have gone kind of blue. It's kind of cloudy and blue after some incredible rain that we've had for the last couple of days here in Southern California. Thought I'd come out and just talk for a couple of minutes about what I'd seen in the news. I saw that 150 members of the royal family have now been diagnosed with the COVID virus and that they've prepared a special hospital for them just for the royal family of Saudi Arabia. And they're anticipating possibly as many as 500 members of the royal family to come in. I had no idea there were that many members of the royal family. It went on to talk about the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Boris Johnson, how he's improving somewhat, and how this virus seems to be hitting everyone, from the poorest all the way up to those who are wealthy. And I thought about, again, the fear that I talked about yesterday that seems to seep through us, thinking that, well, if it could hit people like that, it's definitely going to hit me. And I love the fact that as we come towards Easter, Jesus was a carpenter. He was a working man. He was a man of the people who wandered amongst the crowds. Didn't claim to be the Son of God, but instead he called himself the Son of Man and extended his hand to men and women alike, and he referred to them as brothers and sisters. And even when little children were pushed away from him, he said, "No, suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." And he said, unless your heart becomes like the heart of one of these little children, innocent, you can never enter the kingdom of heaven. I don't know the fear that it must be like to be in the royal family right now, even with all their wealth, and to think it all could be escaping in a second. I don't know what it's like to be in the kind of power that Boris Johnson has in Great Britain, to think, oh, with all that work to finally pull off Brexit, and then to think in a second it could be gone. But I know what it's like that just right up the street, nobody came to work for the last 2 days at the nursing home Magnolia Rehab, so it's been on national news. That's where Debbie's mom died just a year ago this week. We knew the workers. We know a lot of people there. It's not even a mile up the street from the church right here. And they've had to evacuate over 80 people that were living as residents there because there are no workers to take care of them. And believe me, these workers are barely paid minimum wage, many of them, to give them themselves and put their families on the line constantly and be at risk. And I'm assuming just made the decision, yeah, not worth it anymore. Not for this. I remember this is what little Magnolia Rehab, a simple place, charged the state of California for mom's care there. It was $12,000 a month. $12,000 a month. It would stagger me every single time I would see the bill. I would think what her insurance was going out on all of this, and how in the world could it have been that much? Because I knew how little they were paying the workers. And yet there it was at $12,000. And then the part that Debbie kicked in each month, I don't remember how much that was. And all the other medications and everything else that Debbie brought to make mom's life more comfortable. And now those people, their lives turned upside down as they're being shepherded everywhere. And the lives of the royal family in Saudi Arabia being taken to their own private hospital. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, being taken to a hospital where he's being cared for. And the people right up the street on Magnolia and Jefferson being taken wherever they're being taken. And I'm assuming family members won't even know where they're at. It's been one of the biggest fears right now. Family members come to look for someone and they can't find them because they're not allowed to visit them in hospitals that are quarantined. And it's been a huge challenge. It's easy to see why people are afraid. And yet in these times of fear, to know that whether you're of the very wealthiest class, whether you're the very most powerful class, or whether you're at the end of your life in a nursing care facility on Magnolia Avenue in Riverside, California, each of us battle the same exact warrior at the end, the one who ultimately wins if we don't have faith in God, death. But with a faith in God and a faith in Christ Jesus, we can know that we don't have to be afraid. We can have a faith that goes straight through the grave. See, the only fear that we should have at a time like this isn't a fear, but it should be a cautiousness that we don't want to get anyone else sick. It should be an awareness that we want to be gracious. We want to be loving to people. So we want to stay away from them. I'm wearing a mask where I go. I'm working here at the church, and believe me, we could have 20 other people working here, one in each building, and not even be anywhere near anyone else. The buildings are wide open. We're taking care. We're taking precautions. I'm planning to do Good Friday service by myself, to do Easter service by myself. I pray it's the last time it's ever like this. And I pray that you'll be a part of it. And know that whether you're in Saudi Arabia, and if you are, I want you to know you're in my prayers today, going to that hospital as one of the royals, or whether you're in Great Britain and a person of power, whether you're up the street, or we're up the street, now being evacuated from Magnolia Rehab, or whether, like me, you're one of the many fans of John Prine who let go of someone they felt like they knew and loved, and the singing mailman, the guy who touched our hearts in so many ways, that we have the opportunity to say, yeah, going to be cautious, going to be certain, I'm not going to be afraid, because I have a faith that goes beyond any of this, and a faith that gives me strength. Also gave me a brain. I'm going to use it, but it also gave me a heart. I'm going to love and I'm going to serve. Thank you so much to those of you who are out on the front lines loving and serving. Thank you so much for those of you who are not pulling back, and to those of you who would like to step forward. I hope you'll make sure to listen on Good Friday at 12 noon. I hope you'll make sure to tune in and be a part Easter Sunday at 8:45. We have the opportunity to be united, not in fear, but to be united in hope, in love, and in the promise of everything that God has given us together as His family. And for those of you who are celebrating Passover this evening at sunset, know that you're in my prayers. I'm so thankful for God's great family that draws us together and makes us one. It's how we step away from being mediocre and step in to being the miracle. And I want to be miraculous. Hey, let's be the miracle together. God bless you. This is a very holy week. Enjoy it.